told you. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, wake up, I got. Welcome back to the College Couch Podcast. The time is now 9 minutes after 8. This is the smooth jazz portion of the podcast. This is what you get when you have us up this early recording. Well,
I was trying to see where you was going with that. I was trying to see. You know what I'm saying? Brought me back to my
I'm
childhood for a
telling you,
second. That you know.
when you waking up, getting ready to go to school, and you hear like Frank Ski and Kiss
Yeah, man.
104.1.
Yeah.
But hey, man, welcome back to another episode. Episode 9, brother. Episode 9. As always, I'm Javaris Harris. My brother, my cousin, Stackz Delbridge in the building. Listen, we had another great weekend of college football, as well as some college basketball, brother.
Yep.
Man.
It's
Oh, I can't believe it.
back.
I'm telling you, it's back and in full effect, man. And listen, we already got an upset in the first game, but you already know, listen, y'all already know where we're going to go with that. But listen, let's go ahead and hit on these college football games real quick, and then we'll get to the big story of the of this week. We really just starting out our work week. This is It's only Tuesday, but of course, you know, we put out these podcasts on Wednesday, but Missouri, Georgia, brother. Missouri, Georgia. As always, you know, me and you are talking pretty much, you know, days prior to these games and even on game days.
Right.
And the biggest thing me and you talked about was this Georgia team is going to face a Missouri team kind of like similar to how they faced last year, where they kind of struggle. They struggled really early on, and it showed. I mean, Missouri struck first, and it just looked like that defense was really depleted starting off. And I mean, of course, they just found a way to kick it in gear. But what did you see on your side of things that really, on that defensive side of the ball, where it was just like, oh, okay, where are we going with this? You know?
Well. I think Missouri figured some things out early. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and honestly, late. I mean, I don't think the Georgia defense really got his foot in the entire game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they got stops. They got stops when they need it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I still don't think they were shaky the whole game. It was real shaky the whole game. But Missouri left everything out there. I just think that it was too many
Yeah.
weapons on offense.
Right.
You know, like we said last week, Carson
Mm-hmm.
Beck has a lot of weapons at his disposal. Not just Brock Bowers. Like, they're
Right.
not. I mean, they're missing him, but without him, they're doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they had I think Missouri's defense disguised some coverages very well and was able to get after the quarterback very well. So we see, is this the way that you get Carson Beck? Is this
Yeah.
it? Blitzing him and disguising the blitzes and getting him rattled early and things like that. I mean, Kirby Smart, I know he says the Georgia doesn't get rattled, but to me, they looked a little shook out there
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for the first 3 quarters, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri left, like I said, Missouri left it all on the line. I think they played a very good game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they didn't come out with the W, but I honestly, if they continue to build on what they already have, I think Missouri in the future will definitely get their win against Georgia that they've been so close to several times.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, Georgia's got some stuff to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot about yourself in wins, but you also learn about yourself in losses. But I think when
Mm-hmm.
these wins that they're getting, it's cutting it real close.
For sure.
Cutting it real close.
Yeah.
It's not the gap between Georgia and everybody else used to be so much wider, but now it's kind of like, okay, well, what are we gonna get?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play like the number one team that they are, in my opinion. But they won, so they live to fight another day.
Yeah,
So
for sure, for sure. And I mean, even with you bringing that up, I mean, Ohio State struggled against a Maryland team, if I'm
right,
not
right.
mistaken. And I'm sorry, not Maryland.
Nah, it was Rutgers, wasn't it?
Rutgers. I'm sorry. Thank
Rutgers.
you. Yeah,
Same
Rutgers.
colors. Same colors. We give you that.
Thank
We give
you.
you that.
Listen, when I tell you it's too many teams in the Big Ten, but but yeah, they struggled as well against Rutgers. So it was almost like seeing 1 and 2 really like, okay, now we're in the point of the season where we're not in this AP ranking anymore. We're in the CFB. Like this really can make or break our season now.
Right.
And to see them struggling literally in their first week of the rankings, it was almost like, okay, hey, where's this team that's been playing, in the weeks coming up to the CFP rankings, and now it's almost like, okay, they want to fall.
Right.
But yeah, again, I mean, listen, it was a rough week for Georgia. They played great coming, in that second half, but they it's time out for that, that those early game, mishaps.
Right. I mean, if they get a team that plays very well and they make
Hmm.
adjustments like them in the second half, it's gonna be a long one for them.
Yeah.
But like I said before, when you're the top team, you number one, number two, number three, and you're better than a lot of these teams. These teams got nothing else to lose.
Hmm.
They're gonna give you their best foot. They want to be the team that knocks you off. So like Rutgers, they wanted to be the team that knocked Ohio State off. Missouri wanted to be the team that knocked Georgia off. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's one of those things like, okay, you got to take your play to another level because
Right.
everybody wants to beat you. Because now, the way Georgia's playing, they got to be afraid for they Ole Miss next week, and
Hmm.
then dare I say it, I mean, we know from past experience, Georgia Tech, because Georgia Tech ain't got nothing to lose, and they've been looking pretty decent. I mean,
Pretty
they
good.
still
I
got
mean,
some, they still
yeah,
got some things to clean up and
yeah.
everything like that before they can, compete. But it could be. I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen bigger upsets happen.
Hmm.
So this is getting to the nitty gritty. You can't lose at this early on. Like you lose your first game, your second game, or your third game, you can bounce back from that. Just look at Bama. They lost their game early. Now they are starting to get they're in their top eight. So you know what I'm saying. So it's time now. You can't lose. You got to put your best foot forward now.
Yeah.
This is the time to find your footing, find your identity. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I think too, it really should be prior to right now. I mean,
right, right.
when
But I
you're
mean,
finding,
this is the
yeah,
this is like the deadline. Like
oh,
you know,
100%,
mid
100%.
season, you supposed to
Yeah,
have that ironed out. But this is like
exactly. Everything should pretty much be in motion by then.
right,
But yeah, like agreed. It was great they got the win, but now it's pretty much crunch time. I mean, okay, the season. I mean, the conference has been pretty much won. I mean, you beat Ole Miss next week. You're pretty much in. You pretty much punched your ticket for the SEC championship, and especially Carson Beck. Carson Beck really looked well. I mean, he didn't really hit his. He has somewhat of a margin of normally hitting around like that 280, 290 passing yard mark. He was a little bit under, with 250. So, in the 250 range, I would say. But he still looked pretty fluid. I mean, and I mean, you can't be upset with that. I mean, Ladd and Brock, I'm sorry, Ladd and Oscar Delp stepping up big for him and Rah. And I mean, it was
yeah.
it
I
was
mean,
almost like, you know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't
I
you
mean,
can't be mad at it. But
that that that,
it's just
that second half was good for him.
right,
To
right.
me, he didn't play like I've normally seen him play this season. He had the yards, but of course we know if you're not watching the game,
Hmm.
stats can kind of mislead you. But
Yeah.
he was shook. I mean,
Hmm.
he kind of had to play under some pressure,
Yeah.
which again to my statement before. You got next week. You got Ole Miss. The Ole Miss is not known for their dominant defense, but they can put up points in a hurry. They
Yeah.
can go 50 points on you if you're not careful.
Hmm.
And although this Georgia defense is good, it's not like it has been the last 2 years. You know, I don't know if jokers is getting arrogant and feel like, oh, we Georgia, we can, ain't nobody gonna beat us, nobody gonna touch us. I don't know what it is, but it hasn't looked like it has the last 2 years. So
Mm-hmm.
you got a team that scores points fast and in a hurry, because this has been Ole Miss's identity all season. There's Dart, and Judkins and all of them. They're balling. Like they
Yes.
are playing good ball. And
Yes.
Ole Miss, I think, if I'm not mistaken, only has one loss.
Mm-hmm.
So and then they went toe to toe with a solid LSU team.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna shake up anything and say Georgia's gonna lose or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But they better be careful. No,
Oh yeah.
because they better be careful. Because one thing I will say about Lane Kiffin this year, maybe not past year, but this year they make some decent adjustments second half and figure things out too.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, but that's any given Saturday, any given Saturday.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
why I
Oh,
hate the college football rankings, because I just think they're stupid. That's just me though. I think they're stupid. Like,
you definitely have your your aggressions towards the
yeah,
playoff
I can't
ranking.
stand it. I can't stand it because
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you don't lose and you drop, or
Mm-hmm.
you don't lose and you're not considered a top dog, or
Yeah.
you. I just can't stand it, because then you gotta guess, oh, was this team good, or it? That's just stupid to me, because it's week to week. Like, because I
Yeah.
could be good against like LSU because I scheme well and we match up well against them. I could be um great against this team, you know what I'm saying, because they
Yeah.
just very talented. But if I lose to this team that we match up well with, I'm dropping. But
Yeah.
if I beat this team that we're supposed to beat, I'm supposed to do that. Like, it's just stupid to me. I just don't like it.
No, agreed. Agreed, man. And also, listen, Theo Weeze, and I hope I'm saying it. It might be yeah, Weeze, Theo Weeze and Luther Burden on that Mizzou side, man. That receiving tandem is something else. Luther Burden has been pretty much um on that hot list for a while. I mean, really going over 100 yards receiving pretty much every game this season.
Right,
And I would have to give Georgia's defense some credit. They held him to 53 this game, so that was pretty wild to see. Of course, he still scored. I mean, you can't stop the man from scoring, but just seeing that he only had 53 receiving yards was pretty impressive to see that they
right,
could
right,
contain him. So,
right.
but they didn't find a way to stop Cody Schrader on that rushing side of the ball. But overall, I mean, quality win for Georgia. They pretty much have captured the SEC East. Um, I want to say they have. I don't think they.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean they haven't lost yet. So I mean, and nobody is
we
really.
we played Tennessee already, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So we have to play Tennessee, but Tennessee is third. So it was Georgia and Mizzou. So I'm pretty sure that they've won the East. I guess after
Gotta play
figuratively
Tennessee first.
right,
Gotta play
figuratively
Tennessee.
speaking, they have
Any
to play
given
Tennessee.
Saturday.
That's
That's all
true.
I'm gonna
You're
say.
right. You're right.
You know,
So
this
yeah,
like
so
like I just said, you're supposed to beat this team. That don't
yeah,
necessarily mean it
you
goes
know,
that
you're
way.
right. You're
You
right.
know,
So yeah, you're right.
because y'all was supposed to kill us by a lot.
I
And
know. I know.
and it got a little shaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a little shaky. But you came
Yeah.
out with a W. That's what matters. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
But it's
Well,
just
let's.
you just never know. You
Yeah.
never know, because a lot of games, like Georgia, they won. I mean, two different plays. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or one wrong mistake that they would have made could have been the difference between them losing and them walking out with the W. I'm just
Mhm.
saying. So. Or one play call from the coach that might have
Yeah.
been, you just never know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, that's why we watch the game. That's why we
Mhm.
love football. That's why we love college football.
Absolutely.
You just
Absolutely.
never know. You never know.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Well, excuse me. Let's go ahead and switch gears and head over across state to Tuscaloosa. Man, let me tell you something. Besides the Washington USC game that I pretty much have been hyping up, that matchup between Caleb and Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels and Jalen Milroe was pretty much the
fall.
the equivalent of that Pac-12 game to the SEC. These brothers did their job. I couldn't even be upset about the result. Of course, Bama came out with the W, but Jaden Daniels held it down as well as Jalen Milroe held it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, you want to know what's even crazy? Both of them finished with literally 219 passing yards.
Yeah,
Both.
so they got it done through the air and
And
on the ground.
I'm telling you, man, Jalen Milroe, brother, Jalen Milroe, 155 rushing yards. Jaden Daniels, 163 rushing yards, bro. That is
Yep.
insane.
I want to
Insane.
give credit. I want to give a shout out of credit to Jalen Milroe.
Yes.
He faced a lot of scrutiny early on.
Hmm.
Them taking that loss, him getting benched, and everything like that. To fight your way back, find your footing,
Hmm.
and now you're potentially a Heisman candidate. You know that the fact that you were able to do that, it says a lot about that young man's character. Dang, I sound old just saying that, but but that's very very good to see. 'Cause
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
times with the transfer portal, you get benched and do
Hmm.
this, that, and the third. A lot of players are transfer, but shout out to him. And I can't stand Bama just being an Auburn fan, but I love to see it. I love to see it, man.
That I
Kudos.
mean,
I give people their flowers when they deserve it. Players make plays, and he made a ton of them on Saturday.
four
You know,
rushing touchdown
yeah,
stats.
he had the first three or four
Yeah.
off rip.
Yeah.
You
Him
know
and him and Jaden were going back and forth for
that the battle of the
yes.
quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yes, man.
Yes. It was
You know,
man,
if it
that's
wasn't for Jaden Daniels, getting hurt or whatever, I
mhm.
think that and prayers up for him. We hope he comes back.
Yeah.
Have a speedy recovery. But yeah, I think if he stays in that game, we may be talking about a different outcome.
Result, yeah.
It probably would have been a closer game than what it was because after he left, it kind of sputtered for LSU.
Mhm.
That just shows you how much of a factor he was in that game and how big of a presence
Mhm.
he is for LSU. How much
Right.
stuff he does for them. 'Cause a lot of games from them this year, they definitely would have lost without him. Without his play. I think it was the Missouri game where he brought them back or
Mhm.
whatever. So yeah, man, it was for him to have that many yards, and not even play the entire game
Yeah.
is it says a lot about his game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And
this was a good game to watch.
100%. 100%. And we spoke on Jaden's ability to be a game changer in past weeks. I mean, he can do it all basically. The only thing he's not doing is receiving. The
Right,
man is a player. Like he is a ball player, man, and it's exciting to see. It is super exciting to see a baller like that. And you know how like by us both being super SEC fans, when we talk about teams like this, these are teams that that we're probably going to see in weeks coming up or weeks prior. But like you said, you got to give credit where it's due. Jaden Daniels is a baller, man. Him,
right.
him, literally, him going to LSU, falling behind. I can't remember the quarterback. It wasn't Burrow
Bryce
before
Young.
him. Yeah, huh?
No, not Bryce
No,
Young.
no,
Not
no.
Bryce.
It was
You
I want
talking
to say it
about?
was Garrett. I want to say it was Garrett Nussmeyer because I know Garrett is now the backup for him, so it might have been Garrett Nussmeyer. But
No,
anyway,
Texas A&M quarterback was there for a quick spell
that's
and
right.
left.
That's right. Yeah,
Um, yeah, I can't remember his
yeah.
name off the top of my head, but he was there for a quick spell before transferring out.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Well,
was. I think he was there for 2 years, if I'm
okay.
not mistaken, and then he transferred out. Um, but the last quarterback that we know from LSU that was dominant like that was Burrow, because
Right, exactly, exactly. But yeah,
you
man,
know,
Jaden's a baller, man. I really enjoy watching him every Saturday when they're playing, and I mean he just brings excitement to the game. I mean
right.
the man is mobile. He can do it in the air. That's what you love to see. That
And he's
that really.
never seems like he's rattled. Even if he is, when you see him on the field,
Hmm.
he's got the same facial expression.
Hmm.
Same facial expression. And like I said, I think I said this maybe week 2 or whatever. I said, main thing about a quarterback is poise.
Mm-hmm.
Poise. How do you respond under pressure? You know, just like what we talked about before, Carson Beck. He didn't. He didn't look. His facial expression didn't look rattled.
Yeah.
The only reason I know he was rattled just by some of the plays that he was making. Because of him getting sacked and things like that, throwing the ball early or whatever. But his facial expression never changed. You know, pick it up. Let's go on to the next play.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. I Jaden Daniels. I'm a fan. He's made me a
Yeah.
fan. He's made
Yep.
me a fan.
Absolutely.
You can't have the superhero plays every year. Sometimes you fall short because last year he had the superhero play that put them on top of Bama. You know,
Yeah.
so it happens. It happens. You win some, you
Absolutely.
lose some, especially college football. So you know
Yeah.
Bama probably is gonna get the nod to go to the SEC championship. I hope we can knock them off, but you know, you
Which
know,
would be insane if that does
yeah,
happen.
any given Saturday. But realistically, on paper, we're supposed to lose that game. So we see how it goes.
All
You
right. All
know.
right. How did those two defenses look on your side? I think they held up their own.
Well, well, in my opinion, I think I think Bama found his foot in the second
Mm-hmm.
half. Um, but LSU's obviously lost a step or two
Mm-hmm.
early on. But when you got a quarterback making plays like that, it's hard. It's hard to contain him. If Jalen Miro throwing that thing like that, and he's running with confidence, it's hard to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this has been LSU's identity all year. They
Yeah.
they really can't stop people from scoring.
Mm-hmm.
They've let up a lot of points, you know, and when your offense has to score a lot of points, that's hard. That's hard. But I mean, I think LSU, they, like I said, I think they slipped, lost their foot in second half. I really think Bama figured them out. They figured out what worked, and they just kept going to that.
Yeah.
I.e., why Jalen Miro had 4 touchdowns. You know, they figured out, okay, well, they can't stop the quarterback run. Let's keep going to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're gonna hit them with the throws.
Yeah.
So um, I think Bama's defense stepped up when they needed to. I think
Mm-hmm.
and also it's hard to tell in some spurts though because Jaden Daniels went out. So I hate that we didn't get to see him finish the game because then we would have really been able to assess how they played better. But you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No. Agreed. Agreed. Um. Man. You just when you know the history between both teams' defense. I mean, it's always a battle
Right.
between these two, and I mean, especially again in past, like it's been a lot of NFL talent that have came off of both of these defensive
Right.
fronts. So it's really special when you see that LSU and Alabama matchup because you just know you're pretty much watching NFL talent being pretty much in front of your eyes when you
Right.
when you're watching that LSU Bama game. But yeah, man, again, great game, great matchup. Um, of course, we gotta see what Bama is gonna end up doing. I
Hmm.
again, like you said, I think they pretty much have gotten the stamp as well to go to the SEC championship. I don't. Again, after you guys, yeah, they're pretty much rounding out too after they play you guys. So yeah, I think we pretty much have our SEC championship. It'll more than likely be Georgia and Alabama again.
Which
So
is kind of poetic, don't you think?
I mean, it's but this is why I'm super happy to see Oklahoma and Texas being coming into the conference. Like this is really, I think
And
they are going to
it's
be
gonna
the
shake things up, and
yeah.
let's not forget they were talking about Clemson in 2025 as well. So
Yeah,
you
I've
know,
heard that, and I mean, that would be cool to see, but I don't want to jump off a ledge and say, "Oh, it's happening." We don't really know. I mean, again, I think it would be great to see them join, but at the same time, that'll probably start making the conference a little oversaturated. Like Oklahoma
I
and Texas,
go
you
ahead.
said what?
Go ahead.
Oklahoma and Texas coming in would be more than enough, in my opinion.
I mean, I that just means more competition, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
because although Clemson is struggling somewhat, they've showed spurts of that the fact that they're still great. You know, they can still be good. They can still be
hmm
great. I just think that it's hard to consistently be dominant. Like that's rare. Like everybody wants to hold people to teams to Nick Saban standards.
hmm
That is rare that
yeah,
you get a dynasty like that. You
hmm
know, and the fact that Kirby Smart is replicating it, who did he come under? Nick Saban. So
hmm
that is very rare. And even Texas coach, Sarkisian, I always miss his name up.
yeah.
He came
Sarkisian, yeah,
under he came under Saban and changed the culture at Texas. Lane Kiffin came under Saban and changed the culture at Ole Miss. So it's something about Saban. Like I said, it's rare that you get
yeah.
somebody that's been dominant for that long.
Oh,
You know,
his coaching tree is insane. Oh,
right?
that's
Like
that's one of
because
the
it,
most insane coaching trees ever.
I think one of his most underrated qualities and one of any coach's most underrated qualities is choosing the right coordinators.
hmm
Because I say it time and time again, your coordinators make you as a coach. Because as a head coach, you got 1,000,005 things to think about.
hmm
And one of them, you don't want to be the one calling everything. You just want them to come to you and you fire the gun, and say, "Yeah, let's do this," or "No, let's not do this. We're gonna do this." You know. But as a coordinator, you want your coordinators to do their job. You want to you want your defense, you want your offense to do their job. That's point blank. Period. You have great ones. Your job as a head coach is easy. You know
hmm
what I'm saying? Kirby Smart, his defensive coordinator is doing his thing. You know. So, you know, and the offensive coordinator has been finding his footing now. You know, he's making the right calls at the right time. I'll say that. They're not as pristine as they once were, but they're making the right calls right time.
Yeah,
So
they were.
um
I'm telling you, they were ready to put Mike Bobo
he saved his
on a
job.
spinning
I would
on a
say
spinning barbecue. Really,
I'm gonna
man.
tell you he might have saved his job that Auburn game
Yeah, yeah,
because um yeah,
yeah. No, you're right.
if he wouldn't have found a way to get Brock Bowers involved or
hmm
get him wide open or get him open looks, or if they would have lost that game, it would have been on the offense.
Yeah,
You know, because defense made stops when they were supposed to. They didn't stop them completely. They made stops when they were supposed to.
yeah.
So, you know, but like I said, coordinators make or break you.
hmm
And Saban has had good coordinators. You know, it's like, you know, it's just how it is. But I would love to see Clemson come to the SEC and um and
It's
ball
possible.
out. Ball
It's
out.
possible. I.
I mean, you say it'd be oversaturated. I just say that it'd be more competitive. You know, that's what I say, because then you have, you know, a chance. Because right now, we know Georgia's going to pretty much win the East every year
hmm
because the competition is not as strong as it once was. Like, Florida's not as strong as it once was. Tennessee is trying to get back there, but
hmm
they're not as, you know, as strong as they once were either. You know, South Carolina's kind of like stagnant. You know, they're good for an upset a year, I would say. You know, so I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. But I would love for Clemson to come and shake it up a little bit, you know,
I
because
mean,
you got Texas and you got Oklahoma, so it's somebody's gonna lose in that. You know what I'm saying? Every year it's gonna
yeah,
be something
yeah.
interesting. So
Yeah, I agree. But hey, like I said, you never know, and anything is possible. But I still think it would be a lot to bring to the SEC. But who knows? Also, before we go into this next game, listen. Eight recording this early, and I had a cup of coffee. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube right now, because we also have just added our platform on Apple Podcasts. So if you're an Apple podcast person, we are now on Apple Podcasts. I definitely, it was my fault. to say the least. But I'm super jittery right now because of this coffee I just had. So if you see me itching and all this,
Oh,
I'm
wow, have
I'm
mercy.
okay. I'm just really jittery right now. But Washington USC, brother, I have been looking forward to this matchup since the beginning of the season. Due part because this matchup was pretty much between two Heisman candidates, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Michael Penix pretty much sealed the deal with this game as far as winning the Heisman goes. Listen, not taking anything away from Caleb Williams. I mean, he played phenomenal, dude. That 3rd and 18th passing touchdown that he did was incredible. I mean, the man is a NFL talent, but man, it was a lot in this game. It was a lot. I mean, beyond the storylines, both defenses struggled bad,
Well, let's
bad.
let's first let's say this. USC defense is non-existent.
Yeah,
And yes, I'm saying it. You don't fight me, you want to, but the facts is the facts. They are putrid, to
yeah.
say the least.
Hmm.
From beginning to end, their identity is we gonna let you score because we got a great quarterback. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
you know in Madden when you was a kid, the jokers used
Hmm.
to run the goal line and then you just used to throw it up, press square, throw it up, and the receiver would go get it, and you got a touchdown all the way down. That's what they defense play like to me.
Is this when you were beating me 60 to like 3?
Okay, see, we ain't had to go all the way out there,
Because I
but
mean, if you want to bring it up, we can.
I wasn't trying to say all that, but I'm just saying USC defense is horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. Like if they even had an ounce of defense, like
Hmm.
they would be in the conversation. You have a Heisman candidate for a quarterback. You got good receivers. Your running back is good. The line is you know, but your defense is horrible. Like it's almost like Caleb Williams has to score 50 or they don't have a shot at all.
Hmm.
Like let's be real. Colorado, Caleb Williams put up 48 points, and then Colorado came back and scored 40 on it, 40 points straight. You know, Washington. I mean, not taking anything away from Colorado's, offense, which they have a lot of talent. Not taking anything from USC's offense. I mean, not USC, but Washington's offense, because they have a lot of talent. But dude, I mean, what are we doing here? You are literally supposed to be great at your job.
Yeah.
Whether you're a DB, a defensive lineman, or a linebacker, just do your job.
Hmm.
I mean, and anybody want to argue with me? Go check the stats. Go check the stats. Everybody has put up 40 points on them, 30 points on them, whatever. Come on,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah.
I can see
No.
one time, okay, you just got beat. That's cool.
Hmm.
But all season, that Jokers is happy to play y'all. I'm literally like they like we got USC this week. Oh, we finna what I'm saying everybody ate off of their dime. Literally,
Hmm.
everybody like most of the players in the Heisman race ate off of USC
Hmm.
stat wise. Like, come on, man, you got to
Yeah.
do better.
And
Jokers got
you
to do better
and you know what's crazy? Just looking at these stats, man. Dylan Johnson, running back for Washington. You want to know how many rushing yards he had? It was literally equal to Michael Penix's passing yards. Both had 256 yards. 256 rushing yards, Stacks, and four
again,
touchdowns. Bro,
again.
that is disgusting.
I can't make this up, man. I can't make this up. What are you doing, USC defense?
Well, they
What?
just got rid of their defensive coordinator, which
I
is great.
bet. I bet. And he better not get hired nowhere else. until he
Yeah,
figure out
they did. They
he needs to go back to the drawing board and figure out if this is something he want to do,
yeah,
because that is horrible.
yeah.
That is
It was
horrible.
again, like I said, it was a lot of storylines within this game, but
How do you 500 just off of the quarterback and running back? Like, come on.
yeah,
Like let's be real, man. Like, what are we doing?
that's
What are we
bro.
actually doing? Like,
Two
you
hundred and
you let
fifty-six rushing yards.
you
That's
let your
unheard of.
you so it's not like, okay, well, we stopping the run at least, but they killing us on the pass. I can understand that, because you got a Heisman, you playing against Heisman, you know what I'm saying, a Heisman candidate. But you let off on the run game and the passing game. They jokers just said, you know what? Come on through, my bad, man. Excuse me, I didn't mean to. Man, bump all that, man. You supposed to be, come on, man. And as a defensive coordinator, you supposed to get in all of them jokers behind. Like, come on, man.
Hmm.
Y'all want to win or what? Offense, because my
You know
coach used
what's?
to always tell me, if the offense is scoring more than 20 points, defense, what are you doing? How do we lose if we score more than 20 something points?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If the offense is doing this job, what are we doing?
Yep.
You know? You supposed to be proud that your offense is scoring all the time. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because that just means that you get more rest.
Yeah.
If your offense is putting drives together, you are on the sideline chilling,
Yeah.
meaning you should be good.
Hmm.
Your legs shouldn't be sore. You should be good,
Yeah.
because
Agreed.
come back in the game. You know what I'm saying? You rested. You done got to chill. You see your offense do their thing. What happened to, I'm competing with my offense to know who's gonna play have a better game,
Hmm.
defense or offense? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Like, that's, yeah. Yeah, I can go
No,
on and on.
and
I can go on and on about it, but bottom line, they got to be better.
yeah, and I mean, like you, bro, I'm piggybacking off of you because what you're saying is literally what everyone else has been saying all season. There is no reason why your Heisman candidate of a quarterback should be carrying the load every game. It has to come to a point where you have to literally have that conversation in the mirror and say, "Hey, Mira, I have to do my job, or we're not going to win games." I literally put out something on Instagram, literally the Saturday loss, and I said, it's not your fault. It's literally not your fault. You're doing the reason Caleb Williams was on that sideline after that game in tears with his mom is because he feels like he has to do everything. And
He
he's
put
doing
it
every
all on the. He
he's
left it on the
putting
field,
everything he has on the line to win, and his defense isn't helping him get to that point.
and
They
he and
have
he too humble of a guy to even say that. Like, you know what I'm
I wouldn't
saying?
say humble, I mean, but he has he has the talent. He has the talent. But
I mean, I think he's humble. I think he's humble.
well, I'll get into a little bit of that afterwards. But
Cause, but you have to have you could be humble and have a certain amount of arrogance to yourself. Cause you have
okay,
to have
okay, I can
you
I
have to
can
get cause you could cause when you're competing, you have to kind of be like, yeah, I know I'm that guy. I gotta be that guy.
yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you don't have, because that's like self belief.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying, just because you are big time in the moment, don't mean that you're not, like, you're not a humble person.
Hmm.
Because in the moment, you gotta, that's like hyping yourself up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
being a
Agreed.
competitor.
Agreed.
Being a competitor. Like, I
Right.
know I'm good. I know you good, but I'm better, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like the other person looking back at you saying,
Hmm.
I'm better too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So who's gonna win? You know what I'm saying? So you can have a certain level of arrogance to yourself. I think Caleb Williams is humble. You
Well,
know,
when I say it's kind of questionable because of the reports that came out that he was trying to pretty much get a stake in whatever pro team drafts him, and I was like, okay, buddy, I understand you're probably going to end up being the potential first pick,
where
but
I
like
mean, what treatment? Like, okay, if you say that, what treatment has he been getting before? If you've been treated like the man all the time, you know what I'm saying? You expect that certain level. I
well,
mean,
that's not in the question. I never have questioned what type of person he was. It's more so like, okay, the fingernail paint, which is okay, like
But he did that for a cause. He did that for a certain cause.
right. But at the same time, as a player, and especially by you having the spotlight that you have, I felt like that was a bit much. You just never want to, because they ended up losing that game to Utah. So it was more so like, okay, are you doing this for a cause, or are you doing this for the publicity? And
Well, I
so,
mean, he came out and said it was for a cause, and if it was for publicity, let's okay. So yes, college football is a sport, and we play it because
mhm,
we enjoy it. It's fun. At the end of the day, it's entertainment.
right,
It's entertainment. Like, who do we gravitate more toward?
mhm,
Do we gravitate more toward the Cam Newtons, or do we gravitate more towards the Kirk Cousins?
mhm,
We gravitate toward Cam Newton because it's entertaining. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback in my opinion, but we go gravitate toward Cam Newton. Why? Because he's entertaining.
yeah,
Whenever you turn the TV on, it's gonna be something fun. Tyreek Hill doing backflips in the end zone. Ocho Cinco doing the little cha-cha dance. Terrell Owens doing the popcorn in the face mask. These are
yeah,
things that are entertaining for us.
mhm,
That's why we have touchdown celebrations. Because it's publicity. It's
mhm.
fun. It makes you more marketable because if you're fun on the field, they're gonna put you in commercials. Because if you're in commercials and when you're fun, you know what I'm saying? So it's entertainment too. It's a certain level to it.
So the question I'll ask you is: do you feel like putting "fu" to a team on your fingernails, is that more so for a cause?
I mean, if you got okay rivalry, if you got a rivalry or
Hmm.
you got when you're playing football, you want to get any type of mental edge you want.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whether it be for your team that you put FU on you the quarterback and you putting FU, on this, that, and the third. That's for your team to
Hmm.
we don't like these jokers. We wanna
Hmm.
we wanna, what I'm saying, beat the living crap out of them on the football field.
Hmm.
You know? And defense as well. Like,
Yeah.
you them old rivalries with Auburn and Georgia, and then with Auburn and Alabama, with Ohio State and Michigan. You don't think that they saying this stuff? You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? You don't think that with Uga biting at the Auburn player, with what I'm saying, the fights that used to happen between Alabama and Auburn, the fights that used to rivalry games are rivalry games for a reason.
Hmm.
This is football. Basketball, same way. It's just different with football because you're literally going against the grain with your body. Like,
Hmm.
it's more. I won't say more physical, but it's more of a violent type of thing. You have to be a crazy joker to go out there and tackle somebody that's trying to run you over. I'm just
Yeah.
being honest.
Yeah.
So it's a certain type of, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can do it tastefully or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's competition. I got this edge over you. You know what I'm saying? And then for the other team, that gives them an edge. Just like, I mean, a lot of coaches don't like when they do this stuff with somebody dancing on the midfield thing. You know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful, but it's a rivalry game. With Cam Newton going to Bama and putting the jersey on the statue, it's a rivalry game. It's entertaining. It's fun. It gives your team an edge. You know, but it also fuels the other team. Now you got to come out and win that. You got to back what you said up. But I know for me, when I play, you want to get any type of mental edge you can. You
Hmm.
know, some players kill you by being quiet. Like, you talk all that junk to them, but they won't say nothing back. Julio Jones is a good example of that. Calvin Johnson is a good example of that. You know, but the ones that you really really gravitate toward are the Jalen Ramseys and stuff like that. Because you gotta that's how they get in your head.
Hmm.
Because if I'm thinking about you saying F you, or you having that painted on your nails or whatever, if I'm thinking about that, I'm not thinking about the game. So, just like, for example, this year, Colorado State, you know, I got in your mind to fight. So you getting out of your element,
Right.
So the guy that hit Travis Hunter, you know, it should have been a flag, but that gets you out of your state, you
Hmm.
know. Kamara with that big play at the end, he was thinking something else, and that cost him the game. With that particular play, shifted the game a little bit. I won't
Mm-hmm.
say it cost him the game. I don't want to put it on one player, but you get a mental edge. That's what it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not arrogance to me. You know, because outside of football, I look at it, your personality outside of football. You know, how does that? How is that? You know, because football is a whole different. I know me. I turn into a different person when I play football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside I'm humble. You know, but playing on the gridiron, I'm talking my junk. You
Yeah.
know, so that's just to me that's how it is for me.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I valid, valid. I will say that valid, 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 valid. But again, you just feel for it for that offensive front and um yeah, man.
He left it all on
I'm
the line. I would
he
definitely say
did.
that.
They definitely did, and Alex Grinch is out of there for USC, the defensive coordinator, which was
Good.
definitely needed. I think what was also insane to see was a video surfaced of the of a um I guess they were in a timeout in a huddle, and I think Alex Grinch was in the middle of the huddle and he was doing a breakdown. All the players just walked off.
He
They
did.
didn't even break
Yeah,
down with
they
him.
don't. Yeah, you don't like you lose respect. Like
Hmm.
it's one thing if you're a great defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, you've been dialing them up. You
Hmm.
know, you your players believe in you. You
Yeah.
believe in them. You know, cool. But when you been dialing stuff up that don't work, because let's be honest, the ones that get the fall is not the coordinator, it's the players. Because when these people talk about, what happened in the game, who do they talk about?
Yeah.
The players.
All
But
right.
it's their fault, especially at the college level. Like I hate that they make college players seem like professionals. You know, they're not professional. They're still learn. They're still evolving in the game. You know, so they get the fall. You know, what I'm saying. So as a coach, you want to do the best you can for whatever.
All right.
What,
I'm
what,
not.
what,
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. It's just them birds back there going crazy, bro. Them birds back there chirping, bro.
top of the morning, top of the morning,
Listen,
top of the morning.
bro. We can't record in the morning, bro. This is hilarious. The birds back there going crazy, man.
Hey
But
man,
yeah,
they say they
no,
trying to be featured.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, I mean, man, that's you never want to see anyone lose their job. Even when we were just talking about Iowa's offensive coordinator last or the week prior, you never want to see people lose their job. But when they can't do their job to what's the word I want to use, to a capability or to a standard that's of that university, you kind of got to move on because
Well, you
if
look at look. Go ahead.
well, if you think about it, Caleb Williams has been in college for what going on. I think this is his fifth year, if I'm not mistaken. The man has never. I don't think he's ever competed for a conference championship, let alone a national championship. So a lot of people are regarding him as one of the the best players to never play for a conference championship or a natty, which is heartbreaking because Caleb Williams is a great talent. Like the man can play ball, but he just
Well,
never had this. Like he just never had that.
well,
That.
you gotta look at it.
Mhm.
A lot goes into it.
Yeah.
Just because you're a great player, it's a lot of great players that never competed. For one, you know,
Hmm.
like I'm gonna give you a prime example. He competed for one and won one, but Joe Burrow before he won the championship,
Hmm.
nobody knows about that season,
Hmm.
right? Nobody talks about that season. But what's the difference between that season and next season? Coaching, you know, and players bought into what he was doing, and players grew up that year. You know, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, like all of these players stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
and blossom into the players that we know now, right? So it takes a lot, you know. It takes a lot, for a team to get to that next level. Like the player can be good. Like Joe Burrow was good. Like the year before, he was good. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't Joe Burrow that we know now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot goes into that. Like Stetson Bennett, what when he first got to Georgia was not the Stetson Bennett we know now.
Mm-hmm.
He blossomed into that, and not only did he blossom into that, they put people around him. You know, so you have to a lot of has to go right for you to compete for a national championship, or even a conference championship. A lot has to go right. So with Georgia, when they started winning there, the defense was clicking, offense was clicking.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a quarterback that didn't make the big mistake. You know, he might not have been Heisman worthy when he came, but he didn't make the big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Game manager. We don't like to talk about them, but they're good because if you got big time playmakers, you could be a game manager. So Caleb Williams, he hasn't been in the right situation to get there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's heartbreaking, like you said. But you have to be a lot has to go right. A lot has to go right,
Yeah.
and the system has to be in place for you to thrive.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, it's heartbreaking, but a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of players fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people transfer to the Georgias and the Alabamas and all that because they
Yeah.
know that the coaches are gonna put them in position to compete. Just like
Right. Right.
Bama now. At the beginning of the season, we thought it was over with for them, but now they're in position to compete for a conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean,
I mean, yeah.
it's tough. It's tough.
And no, you're right. And I mean, speaking of transfer, I mean, think about it. Michael Penix transfer from Indiana to Washington was probably one of the best things that happened for him. You know,
Exactly. You see what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah, like you're listen. We can sit here and just literally agree with each other all day because I mean, both all these valid points that we bring up about is not because it's not for our health. It's because we've watched it. We're literally watching the same things that you all are watching, and so we're not just saying this stuff for our health. We're saying what we actually see. You feel me? Like it's literally right there in front of you. You just gotta. I mean, you gotta know it. You have to know it. You have to know it.
Right,
But yeah,
right,
man, it's it's kind of like common knowledge. You know. You
right.
know. That's just how simple it is. But yeah, man. But hey, hopefully USC gets it right. They got to play an Oregon team this upcoming week. I was saying, and this will probably be the last before we move on over to a little bit of college basketball. I was saying that there's no reason for this USC team to be down on themselves because you just never know what can happen. Like you said, any given week. If USC can beat this Oregon team, they can jump in the second in the Pac-12. Is it possible? Absolutely. Again, anything can happen. But it's going to take everyone, not just one player, not just the offense, everyone to
They ain't
win
win.
this
They
game.
they not winning unless their defense play better. That's
Exactly.
just point blank period.
Exactly.
Because I know one thing. Watching USC this year, the offense gonna show up. They show up
Hmm.
every week.
Yep.
Defense got to show up. I mean, that's
Hmm.
point blank period. Because defense would have showed up last week, they would have won.
Hmm.
Defense would have showed up the week before that, they would have won. So defense got to show up. That's the one we worry about showing up
Hmm.
because the offense is coming to work. Defense is hiding behind the bushes.
Hmm.
Like I'm just being honest, they got to show up.
Yeah.
And they could because Oregon is beatable. For USC because they have the offense to match Oregon's offense.
Hmm.
But Oregon's defense is a little bit better. A lot of bit better. But I mean, I just
Yeah.
they got to show up.
Agreed. Agreed. And again, we'll see. And I'm not quite sure who Washington has this upcoming week. But yeah, again, they'll get it right. They have no choice but
Right.
to get it right. So and Washington has Utah this weekend. So
Well, that's gonna be a
uh
tough matchup.
yeah, that is gonna be a great matchup. So but yeah, and of course we'll try to have our week of our weekend of games in slate for you, and I'll probably try to announce them by the end of this week. But yeah, man, we got some great games coming up in I want to say what this is going to be week 10, week 11 of
Yep.
college football. Week
Yep.
11, yeah,
We
man.
almost at the end, my brother. We almost at the end.
Oh yeah, so yeah, man, and that's a great turning the table to kind of go ahead and hit on college basketball, man. We had some great games that went down last night, which was November 6th, Monday, November 6th. We're recording today on Tuesday, November the 7th. But bro, we already had some
Man,
madness
it's been a
happen, and it's not
beautiful.
even March.
First of all, let's shout. I just want to shout out the women's basketball
Yeah,
teams
for
that
sure.
balled out. You
Hmm.
know they doing their thing, man. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. You
Yeah.
know, and they're playing some good basketball already out the
Hmm.
gate. You know, out the gate they
Yeah.
balling. You know, um, but they say got LSU balled out, but they didn't quite
They
do
ain't
it
quite
justice.
ball out, but they they
They
they
they
they, they
ball. I mean,
ball.
they ball. They just
They
been ball
ball.
to LSU standards.
Yeah.
They didn't ball to
Uh,
LSU standards.
I wouldn't say they ball to LSU standard, but they definitely
I'm saying
they.
I'm saying they didn't. They didn't
Oh,
ball to
oh, you said
LSU
they
standards.
did, and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
wait a minute now. That ain't LSU.
Colorado hit them with that cotton power, but they
Man,
hey, Colorado came to play. That might
let
be a
me
team to watch.
let
That
me
might be a team to watch.
let you. No, you're right. And while we on it, I just want to give a quick shout out to Frida Foreman of Colorado, brother. 27 points, went 7 of 11 from the three.
Balling, Hooper.
That's scary. That's scary, bro. 7 of 11.
She wanted to send a statement early,
Uh,
early,
and it's
like
just
we
like she
here.
couldn't miss.
They no they LSU has got to figure out if they're gonna live up to the hype.
Mm-hmm.
If they gonna, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of attention's on them now. And
Yeah.
Jarice getting endorsements and
Mm-hmm.
this, that, and third. Flies, they doing the rapping thing, getting endorsement. They talking junk about how they won. Everybody's gunning for you now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, everybody. You know, and it showed first game. You know,
Yeah.
Colorado came out. You know what I'm saying? All right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think y'all doing something? We can do it better.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you could do, we could do it better. You
Yeah.
know. So
It's
LSU gonna have a
heartbreaking.
struggle.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to see it in the first game, though. But I mean, it
It
kind of
ain't
just shows.
heartbreaking to me.
Well, it kind of just shows what you need to work on.
I
You know,
mean, that's
right.
always,
Well,
you know, you gotta iron it out. But
but the first game you get punched in the mouth.
yeah, you the number one team.
Mm-hmm.
You on TV every week.
Yeah.
You on the Breakfast Club. When I open my phone, all I see is you.
Yeah.
So if I got you on my first game, I am trying to make it. Cause think about it, LSU's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's gonna be watching that game.
Yeah.
Everybody's so if I'm not even in the conversation to get drafted, I'm not. Oh, I just need that little oomph. I'm finna play my best game ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I like just like with football, just like with men's basketball, whatever. When you number one, everybody wants your head.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to put you in that lost column. You know, everybody wants to be the team that has that notch on you. And Colorado showed that they wanted it more.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted it. You know what I'm saying? So I love to see it. I
Yeah.
love to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were gonna lose that bad, but you know
Well,
what I'm
when I
saying?
well when I so I texted you last night because I think I think you were just getting off, and I texted you. You said what? I said yeah. Colorado had him at halftime. I want to say it was like 38-32 or 38-35. It was close. And then you got home and you text me. You was like, "Bro, there's no way I'm seeing what I'm seeing." I was like, "Yeah, I mean Colorado has him right now, man." He was yeah. I think it was more shocking because we expected this LSU team to really come out of the gate, firing. But LSU struggled last night, of course, but it was shots that they were taking that were really quality shots that they were missing.
But
And it was just,
sometimes in basketball it's just not your night.
yeah,
You're,
agreed,
you know,
agreed. Hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's why it's good. Like the basketball season is more games. You play more
Hmm.
games. So this loss, I mean, although it might knock them down from number one, well, it's gonna knock them down from number one.
Hmm.
They can still because last year they weren't undefeated last year. Let's be clear about that. Basketball is not like football with college
Hmm.
football, where if you lose one game, you are completely out of it.
Hmm.
More than likely, college basketball, you got time to iron stuff out. Now you got to do it quick.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be. I think LSU gonna be all right. This is humbling for them,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion. You know,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
like I said, every time jokers wake up, that's what they see. Like Angel Reese is in Cardi B in Lotto music video, Lotto music video. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Flau'jae getting features from Lil Wayne, and you know what I'm saying, getting endorsed by this. They on the Breakfast Club. They doing
Yeah.
this, that, and the
Yeah.
third. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's a humbling experience. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And they supposed to be the team to beat because they done added, you know, more
Haley
players. They're
Van
supposed to
Lith.
be
Yeah.
Haley Van Liv. They added more players that got
Mhm.
people back from last year. You got to play like the champ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take no days off.
Hmm.
That's cool. You want to do all the extra stuff, but basketball what got you here. So
Yeah.
basketball was gonna keep you here.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Yeah. And again, moving on. Hey, you're right. I mean, LSU's gonna have to pick it up if they wanna get a chance at repeating. And I know that they'll definitely get it together because um yeah, it's just, again, that's not LSU standard. Like I
right,
was saying earlier,
right,
that's not that LSU standard. And we'll see, man. Because
right. Because
listen,
the people that's right behind them, South Carolina, they looked apart. They looked apart last night.
yeah,
You
no,
know,
listen. When they played against this Notre Dame team, again, Notre Dame is 10, South Carolina 6. So you kind of thought this game was going to be a lot closer than it was. It was 171. So I guess the Don Staley way was like, okay,
hey, she
hey,
didn't make it last year. She ain't playing with them.
she's not.
That's
She
the
they
difference between these two teams.
hmm
LSU won it last year. They riding high.
yeah,
You know, South Carolina got something to prove.
brother.
You
They
know,
played in France last night. That's pretty dope.
hey man,
That's pretty
hey
cool.
man, players made players. Don't matter what state it's in or what country it's in
Country,
or what.
yeah.
You
That's
know,
crazy. That's
hey,
crazy,
it's a
man.
beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You know, we got a lot of basketball to be played. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yep. Man, how about Caitlin Clark from Iowa? 28 points, bro. 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Goodness grief. Caitlin Clark has already pretty much put on people's heart, like, hey,
hey, she
I'm
she
back.
ain't, she ain't came to play mess around. She got a chip
No.
on her shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a chip on
And
her shoulder, man. Hey, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. I'm ready to talk more about this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Basketball and in these coming weeks, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a great season.
Yeah. I mean, bro, having to pretty much navigate between both college and football, it's gonna be very it's gonna be a lot for us, but we're gonna make sure that it's really enjoyable for you guys. And I mean, I think this is really gonna be the fun part to see how well we navigate from college into basketball season. And I mean, it's really gonna be a test for us, but we're ready for it and we're excited about it. Again, this has been great. I mean, 9 episodes in, and it's really shown us a lot. And I feel like we're just growing by each episode, like how
For
we
sure.
just how we just navigate things. And it's been great, man. I enjoyed it. This has definitely been a wild ride. Already
Right.
9 episodes in, so I'm enjoying it. I'm grateful, and it's fun. It's fun. But hey, this is how we're wrapping. Listen, this has been another wonderful episode of the College Couch Podcast. Listen, can't thank you guys enough for sticking with us on this crazy journey that we've been going on, and we appreciate you guys as always. We love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts. Hey, Stackz, talk to me, my brother.
Hey man, we appreciate y'all stopping through, man. Like, share, comment. Got any players you want us to cover? You got any teams
Hmm?
you want us to cover? Whatever it is, no matter the sport. As long as it's college, just let us know. You know what I'm saying? Drop comments below. You know, check the YouTube out, check iTunes, Spotify, whatever you own, whatever you get your podcast in. Let's get the podcasting. You know, holla at us,
iTunes.
man. We appreciate y'all, man. Hey, we got bills to pay. We out of here, man. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I gotta